And today I'm actually doing something a little bit different. It's still a tutorial, but it's actually something simple, definitely for beginners. And I just came across it because I was actually, I had all these, I got a whole bunch of different pens and stuff like that. And I usually just have them set up on my keyboard and collect dust and all that good stuff. And to be honest with you, I'm trying to keep everything clean. So what the idea I came up with today, and I'm sure there's something out there for it, was to create a custom pencil case, and just using any sort of can. So this is just Sprite can. I love Sprite. It's delicious. It's not I'm not advertising for Sprite, but Sprite is freaking delicious, and I don't want to have too much caffeine. So anyway, so what we're going to do today is basically we're going to cut. You're going to need a utility knife. Sorry, a little out of order. We need a utility knife, and then maybe I always have my pocket knife on me, because when we're done cutting this top around here, we're going to just sort of make sure there's no sharp edges or anything like that. So obviously I'm going to skip forward while I do this, but this is going to be the first part, is just getting into this little groove with the utility knife. Try to use a new utility knife so you don't have too much of an issue, because even with the new, I just switched my blade out, and I was doing it on a different one, and I was still having a little bit of trouble. So I'm just going to try and make a nice clean cut here. Let's see what we can do here. And once you get to a certain point, you should just be able to just flick the can up, flick the part that you want to get out, like that, for the most part. And take that out. So this part we're done with altogether. And as you can see, there's definitely some little parts of aluminum, and they can be sharp. So, and that's where you want to be careful. So typically you want to get something flat, or something that'll, at least bend it in, and on the inside of the can. And that's why if there's something like really hanging out, I'll either try and cut it out again, or I'm just going to bend it down. So just be careful, because there's going to be like these really small edges like this for somebody who is younger. You don't want them cutting themselves, unless you don't like them. Then you can say screw them. But this is actually just going to be my little test here. So now basically, see, I have little shards in there too, if you can see that. But I mean, you could use that as your as your pencil case right now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop recording. I'm going to just clean this out a little bit. I'm going to dry it out as much as possible, and then we're going to go to the next step of actually painting it. Our next step, and this is going to be more of a somewhat creative but simple. So what I did actually was just used a thing of painter's tape, and I just put it in just this. It's not some incredible design, but I know there's people who are very artistic who could probably do something to like put their name in or something like that. So the can is relatively flat. It's completely dry, so we're good to go. Number one, if you don't want to get the inside of the can spray painted at all, you can either just cover it with something on the top, or you could just plug in like a little thing of plug in some paper towel at the top. But if you don't want anything at all around these edges, just plop something over the top. Could be something small, just make sure it has a little bit of weight to it. Right now I'm not too worried about it, so I'm just going to go ahead and get right into it. So we got our little weird little painter's tape design here. And what we're going to do now is I have a gloss painter's touch. And this is you can use this for wood, metal, for a lot of different things. So always make sure when you are spray painting, typically you want to do it outside, but just make sure that it's somewhere where you have a little bit of ventilation. So, and typically you want to spray from a distance that's a little bit further away. But if you're close, don't worry about it. You'll get the hang of it. I'm not a pro at this at all. So, but, yeah, I think we'll just leave it like that. And I'm not really going to worry too much about this inside. So, but there's nothing over here that's really going to that would get messed up. So I'm just going to start spraying here. But if you do get this on your hands, it takes a couple days for it to come off. So, just forewarning you. So right now we're just spray painting the can. A little bit of distance. Sometimes it will drip. Don't be too concerned, it's okay. Towel. So we're going to let this dry, and then once this is dry, we're going to take off the painter's tape, see how it looks, throw some stuff in it, and hopefully it turns out okay. So what I already did was I actually pulled off this painter's tape. Sorry, I'm listening to the music while I'm doing this. But I pulled off the painter's tape, and me personally, I didn't do a good job. Make sure when you do it, if it's something that you want to do, because you don't even have to do that. You could just make the entire can, completely red without anything else showing. I was just trying to use an example. So if there was an issue where when you pulled off the paint, and you pulled off the painter's tape, that there was some paint that went underneath it, well, you can try and scrape it off, but what I actually have is this thing. It's I don't know who the hell makes it, but it's basically spray paint remover. So, and I need to use something small, so I decided to use little Q-tips here and not get it too soaked, but enough where I can rub on this. And what this does is it'll bring the paint back to, it'll basically activate the ingredients in the graffiti or spray paint, whatever the hell you want to call it, where you're able to just almost wipe it off. I've never done it on aluminum before, but that was just the first thing I went to. So, but like I said before, you could literally just paint the outside of any aluminum can, and not do anything with it, not tape it or anything, and then you already have a different style pencil holder. So there's all kinds of cool stuff you could do. I mean, even if you wanted to use it, maybe you could do 2 different colors, put one piece of tape all the way around the around the middle of it, and maybe paint it 2 different colors or something like that. But I was just trying to do something quick last night where I could use this, and now I don't want to use too much because I don't want to rub it off the pieces that I don't want, but this might be, but this is the stuff that I use right now, and I've gotten spray paint on these concrete slabs in the basement, sprayed it. If you get it sooner the better, as soon as you spray it, and you just wipe it off with a paper towel. It's basically off. It even did it with whatchamacall, with permanent marker. And permanent marker, I used to draw on my keyboard and stuff like that, and like 2 swipes, the whole thing was gone immediately. So where water doesn't work, this will work, but just make sure you're using it on the right material. So this is technically our finished product. I know it doesn't look like much. So what was once an original Sprite can, anyway. You know, so whatever you want.
Now it's small enough where your stuff's
Actually,
going to
you
stick
can
out.
whatever the hell you want it to become.
You don't have to.
You can have it giant. And like I said, even inside,
you know,
and even since I touched the inside with some of the desk, and there's sharp edges, but that was I just wanted to show you the basics of it.
They're gone. I know we tried to get rid of them.
You know, the stuff I'm doing right now is just clean up crap. So, but put whatever the hell you want in it. I hope you enjoyed this video. It's something a little bit different, but still something I wanted to try out. I love the the Rust-Oleum Painter's Touch Gloss. I really like that a lot. And if you need the spray paint remover, this stuff is really good. This is Matzenbacher's Lift Off. Really good stuff. So, and I'll just show you real quick. So there's our guy right there. So that's our pencil holder. And one of the things, another additional thing you could do is you can actually put a magnet underneath if you wanted to put your pencil holder onto a magnetic surface. So like I said, if you'd like a magnet, throw it under there, attach it to there, attach it to a flat surface, and you're good to go. Thanks guys, I know I look like crap, but I'm just doing a bunch of things at one time, but wanted to finish this for you. So if you did like this, please subscribe and like. I would definitely appreciate that, and let me know if there's any other things that you're interested about, because I got a nice little shop down here in our basement, and we got a crap load of tools and all kinds of stuff. So thanks for watching. See ya.